Yo, what's up? Pascal here. Nice to see you again on my channel. And today we're talking about how to start a travel video. So basically how to do the intro. So let's watch that first. So why is the start of your travel video so important? I would actually say that the start of a travel video and videos in general is one of the most important parts of the video itself, because at this time the viewer decides if he keeps watching or if he leaves the video and watches something else. Especially here on YouTube, because, well, you probably recognize there are a lot of nice videos out there today on YouTube, a lot of stuff that you probably want to watch, and it's actually hard to find out what you want to watch. So if you think in the first few seconds of a video that this video is probably not the video that you want to see, then you click away and you watch something else, right? So if that's your video, you don't want that to happen, and that's why you should put some effort into the intro of the video. And with some effort, I don't mean that it must take a lot of time or energy or so on. You just have to think about the intro a bit on how to do it properly so that people keep watching. There's actually another factor that comes into play, and that is that let's say you're on the mobile app and you keep one video a bit in the middle for 2 or 3 seconds, then it starts playing, right? And it also shows some subtitles. And the same is on desktop. When you hover over a video, then it also starts playing. And so at this stage, it can also decide if someone clicks on your video or not. So that's also one thing to consider, especially when you talk, like what's appearing in the subtitles and so on. So yeah, as you see, like the start of your video really matters a lot. So let's give you some tips on how to start it. So there are basically 2 types of intros that you can do. The first type is the BRoll intro, that's how I call it. And the second one is the talking head intro. Talking head intro, for example, is what I did in this video. And let's start with a B-roll intro because, well, it's a travel video and you want to show some B-roll. So B-roll is basically the footage where you're not talking, where you're like showing the surrounding or showing what's going on and so on. So to make a good B-roll intro, a good strategy that I use a lot in my videos is that I simply show the best clips out of the video. And I mean, of course, like the best clips, the most epic clips, or maybe some funny clips or whatever, just something that makes the viewer want to watch the video. That can always make sense, and it's actually quite nice to do. I mean, after cutting the video, you can leave some black space at the beginning of the video, or you already know your footage perfectly, what you should. Then you know what to put there. And that can work in a lot of times, especially if you have some really epic, good-looking shots, or if something really cool or funny or so happens in the video, like something emotional that makes people want to watch it. That's actually the reason why we watch so many cat videos. It's just they are cute, they are funny, like it's perfect. When you see a cat appearing in your feed, you're directly clicking on it, right? So yeah, look for those shots, and that can already be a good intro. And another way how you can start your travel video using B-roll footage is to show some B-roll footage that actually relates to the topic of your video. And that can also be combined with the most epic shots, like mentioned in the first tip. So for example, if I want to shoot a video of some local farmers from Bali, then of course I want to show some local farmers from Bali in the beginning of the video, maybe how they are working on the rice fields and so on, because that's what the viewer clicked on. He clicked probably on a title like local farmers on Bali, and then when he directly sees some local farmers on Bali, he knows, okay, I'm right in this video here. This is correct. This is what I clicked for. And of course, if you can combine that with the best shots of your video, like the most epic or most emotional footage, then that's also great, because you have 2 advantages as one in one. You know what I mean. And the third way of starting your travel video with B-roll footage is that you start telling a story directly from the beginning. You can do that with some shots, maybe to make people curious. Maybe you don't show everything of the shot, you only show maybe a person walking somewhere, but you can't see the background really, but people know there is something happening soon and so on. So you can actually directly start telling a story, and really making the viewer curious can be a good way to do that. But of course you need some experience, and you really need a good imagination on planning how to do something like that. So I would say if you want to make this start of your video, then you probably should plan a bit beforehand, and you should not just use some random footage. Only, of course, if you have some footage that's good for that. And a good way to make the start of your travel video even better, that you can combine with the 3 tips that we had before, especially the storytelling tip, is that you can simply insert a voiceover where you just start talking about what the video is already. It mustn't be in the first few seconds directly, what can be good, of course, because you can give some additional information, but you can also sometimes first show 2 or 3 clips and then you can start talking or so on. But that's a really cool way to enhance the B-roll footage, because you don't always know when you see some B-roll footage what the editor of the video wants to tell you. And by adding a voiceover, you give it some context, and then it suddenly makes a bit more sense. So definitely consider voiceovers to tell a story in your travel video right from the beginning. Of course, you can use it in the rest of your travel video as well. If you want to. So I really like to start my travel videos using B-roll footage. Of course, that's because I love to shoot B-roll and to color correct it and so on. But of course, sometimes it's just better to start with a talking head. For example, if you're a travel vlogger and you want to give some additional or more information about a place and how to travel the place and where to go and so on, it can really make sense to start with a talking head. And my first tip here would be that you should always remember that within the first 5 to 10 seconds, the viewer makes the decision if he wants to keep watching or not. So my suggestion is here that in the first 5 to 10 seconds of the video, you should tell the viewer why he should keep watching. In this video right now, I did that by simply telling you that we're talking about how to start a travel video. So you directly know, okay, I'm right here. This is what I want to know more about. But of course, an even better way is to sometimes talk about the problem of the viewer at first and then come up with a solution. So what you could say, for example, so you want to travel to Italy and you don't know where to go, then this video is for you, because we will show you the best places. So you see what I did here? I first mentioned the problem that the viewer has, like he wants to go to Italy, but he doesn't know to go where. And then you tell him, okay, you will get the solution in this video. That automatically makes it a bit more interesting, and it's also pretty quick, so it definitely keeps the viewer watching. But of course, it doesn't always count when you start with a talking head video, and that's simply because there are different kinds of travel vloggers. For example, you might be a travel vlogger, like I mentioned before, where you give a lot of information about places. But it can also be that you're someone like Peter McKinnon, for example. He also doesn't always tell you what the video is about at the beginning of the video. Sometimes does that, but not always. And that's simply because people don't just follow him to learn something. People also follow him just to get entertained, because he does something funny or he does something interesting and so on. So that can also be things to consider. So if you're already a bit more established, if you know that you don't need to create so much SEO content anymore, if you're more into like people following you because they like you and so on, and they share the videos with you with their friends, like saying that they should watch the video and so on, then of course you can also start your video with something completely different, like something funny or so on, something exciting. So there are multiple ways to do that. If you want to. So that were the 2 main ways on how you can start your travel video, and also some tips on how to do that in a good way that actually works. But of course you can also combine this too. So for example, what I could do on my channel, I could start like, do you want to get a shot like that? Then keep watching this video. So you get what I mean? Like, instead of just saying what shot he wants to get, I can show the shot and then later I can tell how to do it. And if you're a travel vlogger, for example, what you can do is you can start with a talking head in front of a place that you want to make a video about, for example, and then you can tell that you're at this place right now, so let's explore that, for example. This way you combine it a little bit, and while you're talking, while you have this talking head, maybe the first 2 seconds are talking head and the rest then is B-roll of that place already. That's also a good way to combine that if your channel is completely about travel. So I would say you understand why the start of your travel video is so important, especially on social media. So definitely implement these tips that I gave you here. Think about the start of your travel video before you create it. Like, how do you want to start it? What kind of footage do you need, and so on? Do you need a voiceover? Do you need to prepare that and probably write a text down and so on? Really think about that, and then the results with your travel video can become a lot better. Of course, there's a lot more to it, and that's why I also offer some other stuff to help you make better travel videos. For example, I just recently launched a new Facebook group. It's completely for free. It's called Travel Video Creators. You can just join there and your questions get answered there. Other people help you. You can also post some of your travel videos directly into the group and let them check on how you can improve them and so on. So feel free to join. And apart from that, of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel now. I publish one video every Sunday. So see you in the next one.